up, guys? Ronaldo here. Welcome back to the live stream. Been a few days. Nothing really happened in the few days that I was not streaming or uploading videos. So yeah, and I mean, a little late right now for the folks on the East Coast. Sorry about that, but it is what it is. I was a little sick lately and still recovering just a little bit here. So yeah, apologies if I sound a little weak or whatever, but you know, it is what it is, like I mentioned. And yeah, trigger waves and such. I mean, it's, you know, if you look at Ethereum, you know, the first thing that we could kind of, you know, try to see here would be, move this down a little bit, kind of see here some trigger waves like the 2 hour, excuse me, there, you know, potentially jumping up to 4,600, or if you do break downward, it would be like 39 to 37. You haven't seen too much though. I'll talk about the most important things first, obviously, you know, for those who, you know, end up watching this after it was, you know, finished. And I would say here, you know, one of the most important charts right now, ETH versus, or others versus ETH, looks like it will likely, you know, probably not repeat exactly like this or like this, but, you know, probably jump up a bit, especially with that weekly, and especially, you know, based on history. The other chart that I think is probably even better to look at right now would be total versus total minus total 3 minus tether versus or well, probably both of these. Let's start with the Bitcoin one, I guess, because if you look at, you know, 260, 240, and I did it from the main area that you kind of bottomed and topped, like I didn't really count the crazy wicks. And then if you see the same thing here, 160. You know, a lot of people thought this would potentially go down farther. Well, some people, I mean, I guess it depends. I don't know. There's not a crazy amount of people that look at this chart, but you know what I mean? So it's kind of like this one right here. So if you do, you know, come down further, it'd be that area, but I don't think at this point, I don't think it's very likely that you would come down further. I think you're probably going to, you know, generally go upward, and I think you're going to see a pretty good rally potentially in Q4 here. October to December could be that, you know, big mania phase. And you know, when you see history here, you know, October 2017 to January of 2018, you know, that kind of that area. So it's like this, you're going to start seeing something. And well, that was July. You know, this was a little choppy until, yeah, I guess October, you would argue. Yeah, October you would start seeing something. So I mean, my plan was always to DCA out from October 1st to December 31st. I think that would kind of work. You're DCAing out, you know, in the mania phase if that does happen. I mean, you're not going to get the exact tops, but you know, that's kind of how it goes, you know. So yeah. Curious if we look at, let's change this to total 2, which kind of looks the same, high or low, which is good. And I think, you know, if you do see, and you saw that jump, I mean, we'll see what happens here. I don't know. We'll see what happens here. If you look at, let's look at others versus Bitcoin, and this one looked pretty good. So yeah, on that monthly there, this jump here. What's up, Fiber Splice? God, haven't seen you before. Welcome. So yeah. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get the most turnout, especially with the title of this, you know, boring market. Yeah. And this jump up here. So, you know, a lot of good stuff, I think, across the board overall. So, yeah. Reverse head and shoulder, potentially jump up a little bit more there. In this trade in the red. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. It's just kind of a guessing game now. I mean, any day I would argue, or, I mean, you could be sideways for the month. In October, you finally break upward. I mean, you could go down to these levels. It's, you know, your guess is as good as mine here. It's hard to say. But, yeah. And this potential jump up on Chainlink here. So, that there. I'm expecting ETH to durably make new all-time. Oh, it's whiff. Yeah, we'll take a look at that. What's up, Peter John? What's up, Nino? Yeah, late October. Yeah, that's what I kind of think, man. I mean, that would make sense. Yeah, October, early November. Yeah, top vault. So, well, if Bitcoin, tops out in Kevin B, if Bitcoin tops out in, let's say, mid to late October. It would make sense for a late November, yeah, about a month after. It could be 2 months after for some of them. I mean, it could be into December. I think regardless, kind of just the DCA out from, October to December kind of makes the most sense because nobody's going to get it exactly right, you know what I mean? So, yeah. I'm just thinking here. Let's see, WIF. Yeah, I mean, I guess we could hope for 250 or something, I mean, there's a lot of meme coins, obviously. We could hope for some of these, I mean, I don't know, what should I draw here? I mean, here, this pocket I would hope for, where would that be? $2, maybe 250, these areas I would hope for. So, yeah, you got a good shot. I mean, I'll probably do as well as your average alt does, which is 2 or 3x or something. So, yeah. Few others that, well, let's see, was there anything? Okay. Yeah, I think Sol, like my goal for Sol, and it's holding up pretty strong here and looking good against Ethereum as well. My goal for Sol has been 400. So, I think that's doable. That's not even a 2x. So, yeah, I mean, can you see 400? Yeah, I think 400 is pretty doable. I think Sol will, do pretty well, hopefully. So, yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at for Solana. Maybe following this trajectory upward. I mean, I feel like January is a little bit too late, but if it's like 2018, I mean, I guess it's possible that things will not top until January. I do think it'll be earlier if I had to guess, though. But yeah, so yeah. And the crazy thing about this is just like if you got in at like, almost a 10x, if you got in at any of these points down here. I remember somebody was telling me about $80, kind of bottom getting in at $80 or whatever back here in March of 22. Yeah, or I think it was in May of 22. Somebody was telling me $80, that was the bottom. And then not quite, but long term, because it came down another 90%. But I mean, long term, you would have been okay, under 60% upward, which is not bad. I mean, I don't know if you would have, I think you would actually outperform Bitcoin from there if, sorry about that damn thing. No. Yeah. So yeah, low cap alt for the greatest fruit. Yeah, I don't know. That's like such a bad question because, it's more about diversification. I mean, to bet on one low cap alt is just foolish in my opinion. Unless you're like insider trading or you have like insider information or you're orchestrating the pump and dump or the rug pull or whatever, then it's probably a bad idea. I mean, I don't know. How do you define a low cap? Like, what below what market cap? Like, what are we talking? What's considered low cap to you? Late 22, yeah. I mean, at the bottom, yeah. I don't know if you really would have outperformed Bitcoin by too much, so let's actually look at that. Because, okay, yeah, July of 23, yeah. I mean, there you would have, yeah. So you did outperform it a good amount. We'll see if the next cycle we can do the same thing. And probably not, but we'll see. I mean, based on what other alts have done, probably not, but yeah. Crypto.com, I don't know about this. I mean, I do think that you will make higher highs eventually here, in the Q4 this year. Can you come back to 23? I think that's kind of the most likely outcome, back to 22, 23 cents there. Just such a big line in the sand, and then potentially up to, 80 cents or something. I mean, you are not too far from your old all-time high now. I mean, this has made a nice recovery so far. It's still down 60%. Well, currently probably down, 74, but still, most things are still down freaking 90 from their all-time high. I mean, yeah. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the ones from last cycle still lagging. I mean, Cardano and ETH have been, around longer than Solana. I think Solana's got a good shot of outperforming ETH for, I don't know, maybe into the end of the year. I mean, if Solana doubles and ETH only gets up to, say, well, yeah, you'd be betting that ETH doesn't get up to 7,300. Oh, no, that's less than a double. Yeah, no. Yeah, no, if Solana doubles about, and, ETH gets to 7,300, yeah, then it would outperform. Probably outperform by a little bit. I don't know if it'll get back to that high anytime soon. So yeah. Other one that's been creeping upward a little bit, well, now downward a little bit, but Polygon, we'll see. I think you got a good shot of, jumping up here. Yeah, 43 cents or something eventually. Maybe higher. We'll see what happens. So yeah. XRP, yeah, let's take a look. That's always a good one to look at. Yeah, I do think you'll eventually jump upward. I mean, you got a good shot, I think, of getting up to $4. I don't know if you're going to get up to 6. You could. You definitely could get up to 6. I'd be looking at this range first into the next few months and the year. So yeah, I mean, I don't think it'll go much lower than the lows we've seen so far. You know what I mean? So yeah. Blow off top end of year. I mean, depends how you define blow off top. For a lot of alts, probably. We'll see. I don't know about Bitcoin at this point. You probably have a few days to sell. I don't know if it'll be as crazy as. I mean, 21 wasn't really a blow off top. Yeah, I mean, ETH really has been, yeah, I mean, if you held on to ETH, I mean, throughout, I feel like a lot of people really gave up on ETH during the, kind of bad points. If you held on to ETH, I feel like that's kind of impressive throughout all the, what did ETH come down? I don't even remember. It came down so low. I mean, what did it come down to? Like, yeah, I mean, 1,500. And there were people who were just so. I mean, a lot of people probably sold that bottom out of fear that this was going to zero or something. I mean, I held on, just following the plan because I'm a robot. Never divert from strategy. You know, in the Bible it says, "Buy the truth and never sell it." So I think it says that. Some of those guru dudes who sells courses. Well, I have a course too, but. I've made less money on my course, far less than this dude. So yeah, he was talking about that. But yeah, higher lows here. But I mean, you look at it from this low to where it's 200% already. So I mean, what could you be looking at? Another diminished return. 70% is definitely doable. Can you get up to 11K? I mean, it's possible this year. I wouldn't bet on 11K, but it's possible. We could come down, yeah. I mean, ETH, history would tell you that we'd come down a little bit more, I guess. And so, it depends how you look at this, but I would say worst case scenario would be like 35, 34. It's doable. I feel like there's a shot that it won't happen though, and that you'll kind of continue forward, but yeah. I mean, part of me wants to say you really will, hit this big part, 3,900. So yeah. Appreciate you, Eric. Yeah, I'm like 80-90% better now. So yeah. Let's see. Yeah, only on the East is 21 as low as, yeah. Nice, Peter. Well, you're probably up, probably really happy with that investment, that trade. That's good. So yeah, I mean, it's, you know, it's hard to say. Part of me wants to say, you know, I don't know. It could go either way here. And this kind of is where you get more bearish, like on your 12-hour, because if these EMAs go gray, then you're, you know, kind of looking at 39 and 35. You know, those areas right there. So yeah. True is right there. I think Polkadot may do something. I mean, really at this point, you're hoping for $9. Maybe 17. Maybe 17. I mean, this is kind of, you know, sadly not the best thing. But yeah, I mean, when you're still making lower lows against Bitcoin at this point, like, I don't know if there's really that much hope here. It's even worse on ETH. So, like, yeah, I don't know. But yeah. Bitcoin dominance is a good one to look at. I mean, I think it'll generally keep coming down. You may see a jump back up to 59 or something. We'll see what happens. You do have some bullish signs, so I wouldn't get too bearish on this. And if the markets do correct in the next, you know, 2 weeks, next 20 days into this month, then you would see this likely go up a bit. So, Thinking here. So it's Cardano, Ethereum. Let's see, we looked at Matic. Let's take a look at like what's happening. This. Let's see. Yeah, nothing here really. It's funny too because didn't he go to like? He went to Mexico at one point after he was like diagnosed with HIV to do some like alternate treatment or something. You know, something like that. It's just funny that like the dude is definitely like he's got some connections. Surprised he never went to prison for any of that. It's all below, I think, right? That's what he was doing. I know probably nobody cares about this. Charlie Sheen, yeah, I mean, yeah, it was all the, I mean, obviously he was a pretty talented, good actor. I think they fired him when he had, was it before or after he was diagnosed with HIV that they fired him from 2.5 Men? But then the show only lasted a year or two after. It wasn't the same without him. He looks so young there. He probably, I don't know, how old is he? He's probably like, I mean, you would think, how old is Charlie? Is he 50s now? I don't. There you would think, yeah. There you would think he's like, he had probably some hair plugs. His hair looks too perfect. He had something done to his hair, I think. Other than that, probably not too much. But yeah, I feel like he's just outgrown the. At this point, you can't be really doing drugs, and he's too old. You know what I mean? It was all below, I think, mainly. That was the. Yeah. Well, let's look at financial news. Yeah, not too much really going on. Winning. All right, that was a popular show, the 2.5 Men. I mean, I did see it a little bit when I was a kid. Kind of before my time a little bit, but yeah. PPI data, yeah. I would guess that would probably come in pretty good or whatever. We'll see though. Maybe a little high, actually. Well, if it comes in high, then these odds for October will probably go down. I think you will see definitely a rate cut September, October. December is more iffy. Like December could go, yeah, December is more iffy. I think you'll definitely see a pause regardless of what happens in January. And what you guys got to remember here is that, do I shorten bear marks? Absolutely, yes. What you got to remember here, guys, is that that the last time, and this doesn't mean it'll happen again, but the last time the Fed paused after cutting rates was January this year, and what happened? Things crashed. You could argue the tariffs was a big part of that as well, or other factors, but it could be the same thing this time. And if it's a pause in January or a pause in December, that could be a good sell signal if the same thing happens. Now, the other big sell signals that are very important to realize here would probably be, I would think, the next 3-week red dot in Ethereum, which probably will print somewhere in Q4. I would think later rather than sooner. And the monthly red dot too. That's going to be a good sell signal, I think. This one worked pretty well. That one worked somewhat. That one didn't work too well. But then again, if you sold at 3,000, it wouldn't have been the worst place to get out. So yeah, I think the 3-week is a better indication though. Like right there, the 21, yeah. Do I think Bitcoin will draw? I don't know. It could, man. Baby Superman. It could. I don't know. It's tough to say. I think some parts of history, like it coming back to that, 21 EMA or whatever, 21 weekly EMA or 21 daily EMA, I forget what it was. The one Ben Cowan talks about a lot. I think that stuff, there's definitely a strong argument to make for that. I mean, does it have to hit that? No. Anything could happen. So I don't know. It's a post-halving year. I mean, and after this nightmare, I mean, you could argue that we'll generally see green into the end of this year. I mean, you could see a green October, or excuse me, a green September, a green October, a green November, maybe even a green December. And then it all falls off a cliff, Somebody was, there was a comment on, I don't think I engaged with it, but there was a comment on one of my videos saying that they thought the market would peak out at the end of 2026. I think the opposite, but maybe they're right. Anything could happen. So yeah, the market will bottom probably in October of 2026. Yeah, bull market support. Yeah, you're right. Yep. 20-week EMA, 21-week, yeah. Let's look at that. I think it's the 21, right? I'd have to add it in here. Exponential moving average. No, I didn't want to add that. Whatever the hell that. Yeah, I can't. On the wrong thing. Yeah, this is what I want to click on. EMA moving average exponential. Let's see. Let's change this to 21, and that should give us whatever we are looking at. Or no, it isn't. Yes, it is. Yeah, I mean, it's possible. That would be your typical 20-30% correction. It's definitely doable. And what do you see? I mean, it would probably hit it higher by the time you hit it. If it's end of this month, it'd probably be at 35, which would equate to what type of correction? That's a 30% almost. And then from there, hopefully, I mean, it seems almost too predictable, but you'd have to make a damn good. Well, I mean, if you look at how this has moved, yeah, it would be like that or something. And then that could be your bull run right there. It could be exactly that. So, I don't know. It could hit it. It doesn't have to hit it, though. Mm. Our lows here. Yeah, I mean, I have all the ETH I want, so I'm probably not going to buy anymore now. I mean, if I were to, I would probably mess with some higher market cap altcoins, like Solana, Cardano, Chainlink especially, if I were to add to my bags right now, because those probably will outperform ETH into the next few months. Into the end of the year, I would argue. Curious about ApeCoin right now. Let's take a look, see at that. That kind of looks better than a lot of other things, surprisingly. Maybe it's kind of just a facade, but I do think that'll hit $1 at some point here. Maybe more even. I mean, I feel like she's got one more of these, like these jumps in her, you know what I mean? Like one more or something like that, I don't know. 250 is asking for a lot, but yeah, we'll see what happens. The other one I wanted to, Mutant Ape. I always keep my eyes on the top NFTs, and Bored Ape 40K, 6K for a Mutant Ape, pretty lackluster, I'll say. Pudgies have fared a little bit better, I think, right? Yeah, but I mean, compared to freaking 32 ETH, not too good. I mean, it's kind of like Tulip Mania to a certain extent, I would argue, but yeah, I mean, but 100K to 44K, not too good. Can they hit a new all-time high this cycle? Maybe. Can Mutant Apes and those? Probably not. Bored Apes. You would need a lot of stuff behind these to get these back up to even doubling. Well, doubling is probably not that hard because it's so speculative, but even tripling may be hard here. You know what I mean? So yeah. The thing too, like other dead memes. Speaking of like dead memes, Trump coin. I could see this jumping from here. This is where it gets like you look at some of these and you're just like, yeah, market looks kind of bottomy. This may jump a little. So we'll see what happens. I guess some of these would be the argument for us bottoming out and continuing forward. So yeah. So yeah. Yeah, gold, that's a great question too. I think that, based on this main trajectory for gold, where would this equate to? Yeah, I think you might be able to get to like end of year 4,000 or something. So I think it's going to keep going up. I think it will see a decent correction in, something like that or something like that in 2026 with a lot of other things. I feel like at this point gold kind of follows the SPY to a certain extent. I think you'll see something like this happen. I think like where you are or a little bit below where you are is like a big line in the sand. I don't think you're going to lose 32 for a while. That would be my guess for gold. Like I think it'll obviously probably outperform Bitcoin in 2026. I don't know if it'll outperform the SPY in 2026. It might, it's kind of tough to say. I do think I think Berkshire Hathaway's got a good shot of outperforming gold and the SPY in 2026 because that's been down a bit. The thing here is like, if you look at gold SPY, I mean, just very consolidating, you know what I mean? You get this big jump here and you've been down since, and then you just a lot of consolidation there. So maybe as you get into the green, I mean, I don't think this is going to outperform the SPY, for an extended period of time You could argue if it's this decade. I don't know. I think it's kind of an illusion here, though. I think you got more time to wait, though. Well, here was 20 years. The SPY outperformed, or no, it outperformed the SPY. I'm not looking at the. I don't even feel. Long story short, I mean, the SPY outperformed gold by a lot in the 80s, 90s, and then this 10-year period, gold outperformed the SPY by a lot. If it's like that, you got another 4 years of gold generally bleeding against the SPY. It feels like gold follows the SPY more than it used to, though. You know, AI coins, yeah, I think a lot of them are. Yeah. I would think I would think the SPY may outperform gold in 2026. I think gold will outperform Bitcoin, though, and SPY will probably outperform Bitcoin. I do think that. Well, let's look at what I wanted to actually. Let me just look at. I don't know why I want to look. Hold on. Now that's been down a bit against gold since 24. Yeah, like everything else. So that's been since 24. That's been interesting there. Berkshire, I think, could see a jump against gold, especially in 26. So yeah. Trigger wave right there. Trigger wave on near. Yeah, I think near could do pretty well. Near should hopefully be able to jump up to these highs. You know, that big area that everything collapsed from. I would hope be back to the highs there. Tau is another newer one. I think Tau can do pretty well. Yeah, I mean, I should be looking at. Yeah, well, actually, it's probably better to look at the damn Coinbase on this one. This one's got some potential, I think. You know. Oh, this was listed. Okay, I didn't even realize when this was. Okay, this one's really new. Yeah. I think you can get to 1,000 maybe. It's weird how highly they picked the price to be or whatever, how they did this, but you know, it is what it is. So it was Dow. How about fetch? Fetch.ai here. That I think I have a shot at. Well, I mean, let's just focus on getting back up to like $2 versus 3 or 4x. So yeah, if you can bottom, some of these can jump definitely. Yeah. What is RWA? Is that an actual coin? I don't think that's a. Yeah, RWA. I mean, it's not. It's not any. Yeah, that's not really a. There's just an AI itself. Yeah. What's up, John? So yeah, I mean, I think you'll see a lot of stuff go. I mean, the thing too is like on this one, especially look at the 2 month because total 3 on the that 2 month. I mean, that's unless this is a complete complete dud here, that should give you something. You know what I mean? And you look at the same thing on total 3 minus Tether. Versus Bitcoin. And I think that should, it should give you something, man. You know what I mean? It should give you something. So, yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking, man. The graph. That's an interesting one. Yeah. I mean, it's making higher lows. Let's see if I could get, yeah, you're down freaking, some of these got destroyed this year, yeah, 80%. I don't know. I mean, I think you got a good shot at jumping back up to maybe, 30 cents. I don't know about 45, but I mean, it's kind of like, yeah, there was last cycle, and then I don't know if she's really got much in her, but she'll probably jump. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that, look, I mean, I don't know. I think some alts can hold up where it depends on what alts you're talking about too. I don't know. That's a good question. Like, what happened with alts in 20? Like, let's zoom out or zoom. Yeah, zoom in. Yeah, let's zoom in. This was just a freaking and it, yeah, 2 weeks or like 1 week. Yeah, everything happens in like freaking one, not even, yeah, like 3 weeks. Ugh. November. Yeah, that was nuts. Yeah, crazy times. I don't know. Can the same thing happen this time? I mean, maybe. Hope it's not that quick though. That would just be irritating. But yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing with that is like, I mean, if you held, I mean, there's people, and this could be, getting to, like, there's people that, if you're saying I'm not talking about your alts, I mean, what if you just hold Solana? What if you just held Solana and XRP and maybe bought BNB? I mean, you wouldn't have fared that badly if you just had some big cap ones. So it's not always, but most of them have done. I mean, this has been below Bitcoin for a while. AVAX I should look at. I'd hope for at least 38 or something, yeah. 15 best altcoins to buy in September of 2025. Yeah, I would hope AVAX can get up to 63, maybe even 100. I would hope for 100, maybe a 5x or 4x. 3 to 4x a lot of them potentially could do. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's just a waiting game. We'll see what happens once we get into, sorry about the freaking, sometimes when you get that, I don't know, do I look too red maybe? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if we got the best possible, kind of thing. Could you guys see the golf course behind me? Bit of a nice golf course behind me. But yeah. Anyway, by the way, guys, if you're interested in trading, check out BYDFI, 10K worth of Bitcoin up for grabs. BloFin as well, 20% cash back on your fees for life over on BloFin. And 15% trading bonus cash back as well. With my link in September 14th. You got 4 more days. Check it out. 10K worth of Bitcoin up for grabs for trading. Oh, this ends in 8 hours, so you'd have to go quick on BYDFI. In addition, 20% for fees for life. If you guys sign up with my links down below, deposit at least $100. Make sure you open a support ticket in the Discord with your UID, and we'll give you one free month. So yeah. Oh man. There's potential jump up here. NASDAQ. That's the thing too. I mean, this could, let's actually look at the triple Q because, now it's jumping more. So it's like, I think that 600, but how much do you need for 600 by end of year? 6%, just based on how this generally moves. I mean, oh yeah, that's not a lot to ask for. That is not a lot to ask for, getting up to 600. You might be able to do 630. Yeah, November, probably October, November. Maybe December would be red. I don't know. But I think you generally, yeah, you got something there. Thing too is if you look at, if you're trying to bet that, and I mean, the only reason I really care about Berkshire Hathaway now is because it outperformed the NASDAQ, S&P 500, gold, and Bitcoin in both 2022, 2018, and I think 2014. Maybe even 2010. I don't know about 2010. Bitcoin was barely around there. But yeah, and you know, that jump here. So I do think it may have a jump. I mean, you've been down against, since '08 really, down against the NASDAQ. But the NASDAQ is one that's riskier to begin with generally. So, and you're getting some trigger wave on the monthly. So, yeah. Yeah, that's what I would think, Peter. Yeah. Well, but I mean, just remember the panic, like April, March, with all the tariff stuff, March, April, and all that. And now we're getting to the point where he can't even do the tariffs anymore. They're or the big courts and the deep state and all that. I'm probably not supposed to say that, but the big courts and all that are, saying nope, unconstitutional. You can't be doing no tariff or whatever. So yeah. So yeah. But I don't know. I mean, this could be just the more boring, bearish, slightly sideways bearish month, and then I would think October would be your more exciting month. Here's where it gets more bearish, though. Like on some of these, that's where it gets more bearish. But I think there could be a lot of volatility here. Liquidation week. Core weave. Yeah, I think these may. I think these kind of like the Coinbase stock, the Robinhood stock, all those of 2021, where people are trying to buy the dips, but you don't really, because usually, I mean, I could be completely wrong. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but usually what happens is you need a full like bubble pop, like down to $40, and then when do you potentially see that? Voila. Actually not. I would think longer, sometime in 2026. But yeah, I don't. If it's really extended, here I was thinking October, towards the end of 26. But that's like it'll really freaking because it could be one of those where it's like like that. That could be I would think, because if you look at, like, I know people are going to say that, this is better in Robinhood or whatever, and I do agree with you on that. It's probably not going to be that crazy bad or whatever, but, yeah. Because you had that low, and then, nothing. So maybe you see the bottom, early 26, but then nothing happens, and you kind of jump up. I mean, this one's been on a tear, I'll tell you. Yeah, really on a tear there. I mean, even if you got in over here, you would be, you'd be way the hell up. And nobody really talks about this either. When would this peak? This would probably have a red 26 if common sense would probably tell you that. I mean, when would it peak out? This could be towards the end, 130, 150, something like that, I would guess. I mean, these are the real big. I mean, this would be, because you're just up so much. You know what I mean? Can this get to 200 by the year? I mean, probably not. You're probably close to your top. Yeah, probably 130 to 150. I would guess 130, 160. What's the other circle? What's that other one? Oh, this. I used to buy Bitcoin on this back in 2014, 2015. Or right there. I don't know. I mean, the thing too is, but you guys got to realize, like, it could be your market cap's 27 billion. I mean, I think Robinhood went down to like what, 10 billion. I mean, this could go down another 60%. I mean, this could go down to like below $50 or something. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just telling you what I've seen, you know, and studying these markets a lot, you know. It's going down to, no, it's not going down that low, but, you know. I mean, if it can't even, you got to think about it too. CoreWeave and this, they're crashing while Bitcoin is still holding up and going up. I mean, I don't think that's the best sign right now. I'll tell you that much, you know. I don't think that's the best thing at the moment. I'll tell you that much, but we'll see. Yeah, Circle stable, yeah. Why don't you just buy the stablecoin then? Or an interest on it or whatever. What is the yield on that now? Does anyone know? Like, what will exchanges give you for holding stable coins? I want to look at that actually. Let's look at that on. Let me just look at that on like crypto.com. It's just going on that. I just want to see like what, because I want to see what the, hold on a second. Oh, they're doing something weird with, how the hell does that work? For a 6-month term, you can get, they're doing something weird with the thing for their airdrop thing. Yeah, it's like up to, yeah. But, okay. Wow, Bitcoin, you could actually get the, and I mean, crypto.com I would probably trust. I mean, I wouldn't put all your Bitcoin in, but you get 3% on crypto.com. I don't think that's going out of business. I mean, these are, I love the CEOs, but what is their, can you, damn cat, what's the bar I want you? This is just freaking capybara. Yeah. This has been around too for a minute. Yeah, of course. That's just, yeah. I mean, new meme coins that I like, maybe this one. This one, I kind of, that one I kind of, Pumped Up Fun. Yeah, Pumped Up Fun one. Let's go with that, Pumped Up Fun. Have you got in these lows? Yeah, 100%. I don't know. Meme coins are pure gamble, obviously, but I just want to see for stable coins what you could get. You can get 4% on USDC or USDT. You get 4, so it's the same as a savings account, you know, and you got to lock it at. Yeah, so you're probably, well, it's a little more than a savings account. What's it savings? 3.5 right now. Capital One was 3.5. Yeah, Coinbase 4 to 4. Yeah, thanks. It would be the same as kind of a savings account generally, like a little bit better, I guess, a little bit better for slightly more risk. There's not that much risk though. You're more the risk with that would be getting hacked, I guess. You know, but yeah. I don't think in 2026, if you're just trying to get, you know, 4%, like, because it's probably going to be not your best year, so you'll probably, I mean, 4% compounded, like, it's probably not going to be the worst situation, you know. The thing too is with the like the other ones, the ETH ones, that all the, I know a lot of dumb money is buying these too. I feel like it's just already, like, price has already been factored in for ETH, like going up to freaking 7 or 10K at this point. So I don't know if you're gonna get much above that. We'll see though. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, I mean, you could do that, Peter. Yeah, or you could get 3% on your. That, I mean, that's interesting how you could get 3% crypto.com. They'll give you 3%. I mean, everybody's kind of got PTSD from that, from the Celsius, from the, you know, who else fell? I don't know if FTX let you do that, but, you know, I think crypto.com is okay though. I'd be very, I think 3% is doable. You know, I mean, there's more signs of, like, you're starting to come back to the degenerate stuff, like borrowing against your Bitcoin, all that. There's more signs of that popping back up, but it's done more in a responsible way. Like, I don't think the companies will go bankrupt like Celsius, but I think that a lot of people may get liquidated or not be able to hit their margin calls or whatever, you know. Because, I mean, Bitcoin's probably going to go back to 50K at some point in 2026 in all likelihood, just based on history. And, you know, if you look at, I mean, I don't think it's going back to 30K. I'm surprised that even, let's move this up. You know, I think that point, that's kind of like almost inception of, you know, Bitcoin ETF. I think that point is huge. And your old all-time highs, there's definitely hope there, you know, 65, you know, those kind of areas. So, yeah, I would argue there's something to be said there too. I think it'll go lower. You know, I think 50 something, between like 45 to 50K probably, you know, those kind of areas. Yeah. Yeah, there's always going to be crunk. There's always going to be degenerate, more stuff on that. Yeah. I wouldn't mess with those. I mean, the thing is with those, if you can get out before the damn market, you know, if you can get out probably before like December, you'll probably be fine. But, you know, the Luna stablecoin thing, yeah, I remember when Celsius was at the Bitcoin conference back in, what was it, 2022, early 22. And I was talking to them at the Bitcoin conference. It was in Miami that year. Yeah, it was in Miami that year. And you know, I was like saying to the guy, like, kind of a Ponzi scheme, kind of not. And then he kind of got so like defensive about everything. And then, you know, I was right. And he probably does not have a job anymore. Well, he probably works for somebody. He's probably doing the same thing again. But, you know, it's interesting. It's always funny when they get so defensive over like stuff like that. It's like, tell me you're not a robot without telling me. Tell me you're a robot without telling me you're a robot. Yeah, 60, 80. I would say 45 to 60K would be more likely. I mean, the thing too is because if you look at like, people would argue, you know, it was only 70, it was 77% here. If you factor in inflation, it was like 80, 81%. So it could be just as bad. Let's say we get up to 154. You know, let's say we get up here. You know, it could be 77, 76, and that's, well, is that low? Damn, that's 36. Jeez, I didn't think it was that. Yeah, 76 is low. Damn. 36. Yeah, people would be so. No, wait. Is it? Yeah, no. Damn. 150. Let's see. I mean, what would fit? Yeah, 60. Yeah. It could go down to 45. I mean, I don't think it would go down below 40. It could go down to 45, 70%. Let's look at, so the thing that's important to look at with that is going to be Bitcoin versus DXY. And, okay, so this is 80% kind of factoring inflation. This is 84. So, you know, I mean, let's say we hit this point, which would be, you know, kind of like 155. It says 168, but that's versus the DXY. So, you know, let's say it's down 75% this time. That'd be around, let's just see, around this point, be around that. That would be around 48, I think. Let's look at Bitcoin again. It'd be around that high, 48. That's what I would kind of guess, 48. Now that's only probably, that's only a 70%, 68, 70%. So yeah, that's what I would kind of guess, 70%, you know, 45, 48. I mean, 36K would irritate a lot of people. I don't think it would go that low, though. 60K Ethereum, yeah. Do you know how rich Evan Aldo will be if Ethereum hits 60K? Like, just, even if you, let's say someone just has like 30K. Like, what's the math on that? Let's say you have 30K in ETH and it goes up to, yeah, that's a 20x from here. About what is ETH at right now? It's over a 10x. Yeah, you would only need like 50 or 100K. You'd be a multi-million. You'd be a millionaire. You know, 60K. That maybe in the 2040s, 2050s. That's doable. End of decade, 20 to 30K would be the most I could see. I would think, like, let's look at Ethereum versus DXY. So this was, let me draw these out. They're useful to draw out, I think. This one came down 94. This one came down 84, about 10% better. This would be if you get to 7,300, which that's kind of my guess for a high. Let's say you come down 74, I don't know. Right there. So yeah, not below the previous low. And that would bring you to about approximately low twos. That's what I would kind of guess, low twos. In the next bear market, low twos, you know. So yeah. Funding rate's kind of boring right now. Let's look at liquidation points here. Yeah. Too lazy to log in right now, but yeah. So yeah, just trying to think here. Background not looking too bad. Golf course. I hit some balls in a little bit or something. Man, let's see here. Yeah, that's a good question, Peter. I mean, ETH Bitcoin, you know, 0.053. I would think you at least can get up to 0.055, you know. You might, well, let's do the math on this. I mean, let's say, because you can just divide, like, let's say ETH 7,400 and Bitcoin is 150. That's only 0.409, yeah. I would think it would go up a little bit more though, yeah. So you're thinking, yeah, at least 0.409 though, at least that area. I don't know what would you need to get, you know, get a new all-time high for Bit. Like, let's say, I mean, this is just like out of right field. Let's say ETH hits next cycle 30K and Bitcoin hits, I don't know, 300K. 0.01. Yeah, you wouldn't even be, that would be a barely even, yeah, that's nuts. Yeah, 0.1. Yeah, so you're probably not gonna, yeah, it would be so hard to make a new all-time high against Bitcoin here. I think next cycle you can make a new all-time, you can make a higher high than your 2022 high potentially. So yeah, but you really need ETH to do well, you know what I mean? It's hard, you know. I mean, is the Fed still like technically in QT? I forget what's the no one talks about that anymore. I forget what the latest on that is. I don't know what the latest on that is, but yeah. Actually, let's look at we didn't look at the bond market yet. Let's look at the TLT. I think this generally, you know, as I've mentioned probably a million times to you guys here, I think this generally will go up. I don't think you're going to see a big jump up until you get like a big crash, you know, similar to back here or, you know, back here. You know, you need another crash, and those only happen every 8 to 12 years. So, I mean, you know, 2028 to 2032 would be the most likely place for that. MYX. Let's see there. Yeah, it's a new one. There's a lot of new ones. It's hard to do TA on these, man. I mean, I don't know. It could, consolidate and jump up another time. Maybe it'll crash back down. It's so hard to say on that. Yeah. Ondo's a good one to look at. Let's take a look. I'm just in the trades I've been in. I was sick for, like, I had food poisoning. Not like real bad food poisoning, but it was a rough night the night before last night. So I was kind of like tired all day yesterday. I slept pretty good last night, so now I'm okay, but still kind of a little weak and all that. Like, I took a little caffeine and aspirin before this live stream, which kind of woke me up a bit. And now I feel good enough. I'll probably hit some balls at the driving range later today or something, or hit the gym a little bit. So, getting back into it. So yeah. Funny, I got food poisoning from eating Western food. I think I had a hamburger and got food poisoning from it. And it was not like undercooked or anything. Like, it was it was nothing you'd expect to have food poisoning from. Unless it was like a virus or something, which is possible too, I guess. But I don't know. Yeah. Python, I think this could recover a bit, up to maybe these point 0.3 or something, 0.4 or 30 cents, maybe higher. But it's got some potential, I would say. Jupe as well, we can look at Jupiter, sure. Yeah, that potential jump up a little bit more. Right there, 90 cents to $1, yeah. At least that, I would think. Hopefully higher. I mean, there's potential definitely to come higher with that. Curious about, really underperformers, like Atom. Ugh. When you look at this, you're just like, ugh. Trying to jump up higher, yeah. Maybe $10, maybe up to 14. 2 or 3x. 10 bucks. Yeah, I think it could hit 10. It shouldn't be that hard. Speaking of depressed coins, I mean, Theta hopefully jump back up to like 2 something eventually here. I mean, if we're talking, this one kind of went to 0, but watch just, yeah. Is it World? Yeah. Sometimes when I look at, I think it's like, wasn't there a wild coin? Yeah, World Coin. I don't know. I know somebody was telling me that it was a good buy, like back here, I think. So I mean, you're not that far off. I mean, you're only down 50%, 45%. So yeah, maybe they'll come back. I don't know much about it. I know there's some okay fundamentals behind it, at least. Maybe it could jump up higher. So yeah, let's see here. Undo. Yeah, I think Undo can jump too, up to these points. Yeah. Yeah, I think, there's always going to be something that jumps up while the rest of the market is boring or whatever, I hope ETH will do something relatively soon. I mean, it's nighttime now, but, yeah. So just been kind of that boring market lately a bit. Let's see, Fox Business, just want to see if there's any, I mean, CNBC has gotten progressively worse, and major emphasis on the word progressive. Yeah, it's the big thing with the, Is it really, like, I think that it's always like, I think the thing with the U.S. debt is like you got to look at debt to GDP ratio, and when that hits 200%, then yeah, that's nail in the coffin. You know, that's you kind of done. I mean, that's when British Empire was done. You know, it's when Greece went belly up. You know, probably not till 2040s, 2050s though. I think after the Democrats get into the 2030s, then at the end of that, then you're kind of yeah. Mm. Then all the Doge stuff, you know, with Musk, all that's kind of up. Nope, no, never mind. Couple on YouTube. Yeah, people are talking Doge. I don't know if that's true. Maybe Doge will. I think Doge will jump at some point. I don't know if you're gonna make a new all-time high. Probably not, but you know. Yeah. I mean, this is kind of like healthy, how you want it to be, and then, you know, that is where, and then it just keeps getting more. It's kind of crazy. It just keeps getting more because people were complaining about it back here. I mean, people were talking, you know, so negatively about it. All during the Obama years, all that, and obviously when Obama got in, started to, you know, it was Bush. They did the thing too. I mean, because the thing too, yeah, so Bush bad, Obama worse, Trump even worse. You know, it just gets worse and worse. And now it's just like, ooh, you're just like, yeah. Um, mm, it's gonna keep going up too because you have like you're just gonna keep. There's gonna be I think 2040s, 2050s when China is the next world power. You know, that'll probably mark the you know. Then there'll be a lot of cuts or whatever, but no, it's gonna keep. I mean, it may slow down a little bit, but you haven't really seen like that's the thing too. Like the public, they you know, they still the Republicans aren't even on the side of bringing down the debt much. I mean, even Trump's not really on the. No one really wants to bring it down. I'm sure the Republicans are better with it than the Dems, but I mean, they're not listening to Elon Musk. They passed a bill that was you know just the same crap. You know, it's just all, you know, the debt is not. No one cares. I mean, Elon was trying to start his own party. Nobody even talks about that anymore. You know that if you're trying to run for office, you'd probably get some. I mean, Elon probably would endorse someone that sounds and looks normal trying to run for office under the America Party. Not a bad idea if you're trying to do that. I mean, obviously, tons of people will hate you, but they hate every politician. You know, and the only people that follow politics are just. I mean, just think about it. The type of person that actually follows and really thinks politics really, you know, influences what actually happens. Like, I'm not going to say anything else, but, you know, just think about that a little bit. Sui, I think, will jump. Yeah, this could make a new all-time high. Yeah, $6 or something here, potentially. Um, Yeah, I mean, we're gonna, yeah, now we're, you know, Aerodome. Yeah, that's got potential. I think that potentially could make an all-time high. We'll see what happens. It's like a Doge. The thing is with Doge, in terms of market cap, it did already almost make a new all-time high. Its old one was around 50 cents. So I think it could get back to that high. I don't know if you're going to 70-something cents or something. I wonder what the Slum Doge millionaire is doing. I think he had to sell some for like living costs or something during the bear market. I don't want to put any words into it. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I don't. Does he still have it? Are you guys familiar with the Slum Doge millionaire? Shout out to Slum Doge. I've met him. Good guy. I shouldn't have said. I hope I don't want to. I like that. I like the Slum Doge millionaire. He was right. He said when I talked to him, he was right about some stuff. It was worth what, 3 mil at the. Did he post? I want to know what it's worth now. He's probably still got. I mean, with that amount of fall. I mean, does anyone know like what the amount of how much is this? How much would someone like this make from Twitter? With well, the engagement's not. I'm curious. How much do people make a lot from Twitter? I don't make anything from Twitter. I'm not big enough, but does someone? I mean, how many likes do you? I wonder. Great question for ChatGPT. Let's see. Wait, he lost 3 mil? Wait a second. He hasn't been posting too much. Anyway, I wonder. Is it? Yeah, you get brand new value, man. Anybody going to Token 2049? I may go. I'm probably gonna go. I'm deciding. I don't know. I went last year. It's decent. Pretty good. I think I'm probably gonna go. I'll see what happens though. Self-sustaining. That was the latest with Elon. I don't know. Open a long now. I don't know. I've been long on it. I don't know if I would open it particularly right now. But anyway, we'll see what happens here. It's it's one of those boring times. I think October will be a lot better in terms of like movement. You're kind of canceling out this daily, trigger wave, so that's getting a little bit more bearish. It wouldn't surprise me if you do come down somewhere between 35, 39. So we will see what happens. Been on about an hour and 16 minutes, so I'm probably gonna get going, guys. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. I'll be a lot more active. We're gonna have a special guest on the channel tomorrow. At the live stream will be at what time tomorrow? It'll be at, let me do it in my frickin', it'll be a little bit, I may pre-record it, but it'll be a little bit later tomorrow. It'll be like 11 p.m. Eastern, because I'm in Asian time and the person I'm interviewing is on the other side of the world. So yeah, but we'll figure that out. And yeah, I'll see you guys really soon. Really appreciate you guys. I am feeling better. Appreciate you. And smash the like button. Always appreciate you guys checking out. You got 8 more hours to get the 7 more hours to get the 10K worth of Bitcoin if you trade over $1 million or 100 mil worth of stuff on BitFi. 20% for your fees for life there. Same thing, BloFin, 20% for your fees for life. Remember, if you sign up to either of these exchanges, deposit at least $100 and open a sport ticket with your UID in the Discord, you will get 1 free month. So I'll let you guys go. Smash the like button.